What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to tell you guys a realistic natural potential for gaining muscle. So first things first is we're going to talk about genetics. On my scale here that I have, lower genetics are going to be at the bottom of the scale and better genetics are going to be at the top of the scale. And the difference in the genetics is you're going to have very poor genetics if you're at the bottom of the scale, and you're going to have like elite level genetics like you're a freak at the top of the scale. We know these people, we've seen these people. I'm sure you've at least met one person throughout the years of working out, or if you're just getting started, you've at least met someone who is just generally gifted and has great muscle insertion, just straight up is fortunate to have such a great genetic potential. And if you're in the middle of the scale, you're a top 5 to maybe 10% of the world, so you're doing pretty good and you have pretty good genetics. If you're at the bottom of the scale, then that's just unfortunate. That's just how it is. You can still work harder than the person who's at the top, and you'll still never reach what they can accomplish with less work, but that's just the way it is sometimes, and that's what we have to deal with. So year one, you can expect to gain 7 to 11 pounds, possibly even 12 pounds if you're just completely gifted and completely fortunate. If you've never trained before, you're gonna gain so much more very fast because your body is adapting. You can just gain a ridiculous amount of muscle in your first year of training. And then for the women, they're gonna gain a lot less in the first year. Can be anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds, and women gain less because they don't have testosterone like men do. But don't let that get you down. You can still make tremendous progress as a woman. Women have naturally gifted legs and glutes. They can gain a lot more in that area than a male could. That's just something to women's benefit, that they can possibly have better legs than some men and be stronger in that area. So to also touch on some of this, if you start training when you're going through puberty, let's say you're like 15 and you train for another 10 years from there, you still haven't even hit your genetic potential, even though you've been training for 8-10 years, because your body is just finally at 25 years old, it has finally stopped growing and you're finally done maturing and growing as a man. Even after the age of 25, you still can see lots of changes throughout your body. I'm currently 23 years old and I'm still seeing changes on the yearly basis in my body. I still can't even grow like a full facial hair yet, and I'm 23, so that's gonna come eventually, but just sometimes is different for everyone. No matter what, you're always gonna start to see differences the older you get. Okay, so let's get on to year 2. So at year 2, you could gain anywhere from 4 to 8 pounds of muscle for a male, and at year 2 for a woman, anywhere from 3 to 4 pounds of solid muscle. You could also gain way more, both of these numbers, not even way more, maybe a couple pounds if you're just really gifted. It just depends on who you are, but I wouldn't see any more than maybe 2 pounds more, maybe 10 pounds max on a male, and maybe 5 or 6 pounds on a female in year 2. And that's very, very rare. Like less than 1% of the world population even have those genetics. Like for example, like LeBron James, he would have he's got God level genetics, and that's something he could probably attain because he's just very gifted. Okay, and so in year 2 you can still see like a lot of progression even though you've been training for 2 years. But then again, something to take into all of this is, even if you gain 5 to 8 pounds, let's say you gain 6 pounds and your diet sucks, you haven't really been taking the diet part as serious as you should have, and you're not getting your protein in, you're not really caring about your carbs and fats throughout the day, you just kind of eat whatever and you just hope for the best, you can still make tremendous gains, because there's a possibility you still have newbie gains in there that you've never even achieved yet because you've pushed the diet part to the side for so long. Okay, so next up is year 3. You can gain anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds as a male, and anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds for a female. As the years progress, you can start to see a graph that's going to go like this and kind of like this, and then slowly but surely just like that. It's going to be like an upside down shape like this. Slowly but surely it's going to go up, and then it's going to go right back down once you get closer to your genetic potential. Year 4, it starts to slow down quite a bit. So year 4, you could gain as little as 2 pounds and as high as 5 pounds. And once again, I've said it in the other ones, this isn't exact. You could literally be just an average person and not have very good genetics and maybe see as low as 1 pound of muscle a year. It just really depends on how serious you are and really like your genetic potential. Year 4 for women, you can see roughly around 2 pounds of muscle gain, which is very low, and it's kind of crazy that they gain that little already, but that's just the way it goes for women. They don't have as much testosterone as men do. So year 5, it does go down a little more. It's really not as bad as, year 4, but you can gain as little as 2 to 4 pounds roughly, and for women you can gain as little as 1 to 2 pounds for that year. So the next 3 years, it's about the same for men. It maybe goes down about a pound, and the remaining for the rest of I'd say year 10 to year 11, there's a possibility you could still gain 1 or 2 pounds of muscle a year, and that's very lucky if you do as a male. And as well with women, there's a possibility around year 10 to year 11 you could gain maybe 1 more pound of muscle. But getting to that 6 to 9 year mark, you're really going to see and start to really fill out your body and see what your genetic potential is. A lot of people who watch my channel are younger. They started working out when they're at a younger age, still going through puberty, so you really haven't even reached your genetic potential until you've really matured, and you haven't turned 25 yet. So that's usually when things start to slow down and you kind of decline your testosterone levels. But still, that's not saying you're completely dropping your testosterone levels. That just means you're not fully blooming like you were when you're 16, 18, 19 years old. Going into a little more detail, that's the full scale. This scale could be a little different depending on your genetic potential, depending on how hard you train, how efficient you train, your nutrition. If you really care about your protein intake, you really care about making sure you're getting those carbs in. The first 3 years of going to the gym, the first year maybe you did very minimal work and you thought that was enough, but as we progress each year, we have to work harder and we have to take more precautions to be able to gain the max potential we can for each year. And I guarantee most people haven't even tapped close to their genetic potential, because a lot of people get a lot of misinformation out there that isn't true, that really messes people up and really messes with their progress in the gym. So for example, the first year that I was going to the gym, I really didn't care about the diet, I didn't care about the workout routine. I just kind of did what I did, and I did see a decent amount of progress. I gained a lot on my bicep right away, because I just have a good insertion right there, and it made me feel good. So I thought I was doing as much as I should be doing in the gym, and then I did a lot more research and got really into it, and I realized that I'm not even close to what I could be, and I started neglecting things and putting things off, and now I'm closer to, I'd say I'm in the year 4 mark roughly for going to the gym. 3 of those years I've actually been, I'd say around 2 of those years I've actually been taking things pretty seriously and caring about the diet, caring about the protein. So I still have a long ways to go. I'm excited to see where I can take myself. I'm thinking about doing a very long bulk soon to really maximize my progress. So the video's coming to an end. I hope you learned something, gained some kind of knowledge. Don't be like me. Don't neglect your workout routine or your food for the first couple of years. Really maximize everything so you can make the most progress possible. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.